Naturally, I found myself being led to this place.
Long journey, but it ends here, Garcian. Now, I think it's time I called you by your real name, Emir Parkreiner.
Emir?
Allow me to introduce myself. My name's Harmon Smith. I'm the man you saw in your past. Do you remember the incident where 6 people were murdered in this hotel? You must have seen it yourself. Because you were the killer. The assassin, Emir Parkreiner, was the ace of aces. Who would have thought the killer was a mere 13-year-old? It was a deliberate crime targeted toward the Smith Alliance. It consisted of 7 members, but the leader wasn't included in the 7. Later investigations found his dead body inside a safe of a school. The investigative unit called them the Killer7. But the whole affair was never made public, not because this was an aberration from society, but because it involved national security issues. Unfortunately, a curse brought upon you by old traditions. You, Emir, are an assassin controlled by the government. Someone is watching your every move. From the second when I first took you in on the roof. You were one of the very few assassins with class, but you were out of control. Still, there was something venerable about you. Then it occurred to me, you were no longer a mortal being. Within you, ever so quietly, evil had opened its eyes.
What took you so long?
Nice view, isn't it?
It's different. Time here is warped.
To finish this game peacefully is my last wish.
Guess that won't happen. We've been interrupted again.
Has another come to surface?
A sight for sore eyes.
Haven't seen you around for a long time.
Come in.
Please.
No, it wasn't me. It can't be. It's all a misunderstanding.
Exactly how much of this game takes place in Garcian's head is left up to your discretion. You're meant to guess exactly how much really happens. And the same is true for Garcian. His eyes are finally open. Beforehand, he has a spotless suit. In that final moment, he sees he's been covered with blood the whole time. In disbelief, he is left alone. He has no friends left. His master never existed. The group he works with, that he swaps bodies with, they're all in his head. So he has no crew. He has no friends. He has nothing to believe in. He has no purpose with the government. Like he has nothing to fight for. He's left with nothing but the truth. And in that sense, doesn't know if he's ready to believe it. And that's how the game ends. It's kind of brutal, but it's that brutalness and like axe chop of reality that makes this ending so addicting. Addicting's not even the right word, but you know what I mean. This ending has stuck in my head for years and years, and honestly, the whole reason I ended up wanting to play this game is because very recently I remembered, I believe we were doing a tier list, rank the games you've played ever, and everyone was confused because I was the only person with Killer7, and everyone was like, what's that about? That was the whole reason why I did this. And it still holds up. And then we get the PC credits, which are slowed down a little bit because there's a lot of people. And there's a lot of song too, so I don't mind it. So the first things first, should you still play Killer7 even though you've seen pretty much everything? In my mind, yes, for several reasons. The first one being nothing replicates playing it yourself. Nothing replicates seeing it on your own monitor. I cannot understate, or I cannot overstate, whatever. I cannot say enough how much the visual quality means to this game. There's original screenshots of what the game looks like side by side with the Steam version. This is a good Steam version. Obviously, I have my complaints. I wish the pre-rendered cutscenes got treatment. They didn't. Who cares? I wish X, Y, Z, a little bit better control support. Actual PC buttons being shown on screen. Who cares? Whatever. Suda still gets supported if you buy this version of the game. And it pushes the idea that people want more Killer7, something they are still interested in. And that's it. Smile complete. That wonderful smile is gone for eternity. The end. But there's actually one more mission we can do. Lion! Which, by the way, the timeline is about 2 years from start to finish. And then finally, 3 years later from that. The course of this game is about 5 years actively. But half of the story takes place before the game begins. The game is definitely the second half of the story. All things considered. So what now? Because this is an epilogue chapter. Battleship Island, which is Japan. Showdown. We don't work for anyone anymore, mind you. This is 3 years later. Oh yeah, I didn't mention it in the last chapter, but we inherited Almeida's ride. Still covered in his blood, permanently red. 3 years later, if you want to see, he's reawakened to who he truly is, and I'm guessing accepted that part of himself, and has kind of ascended. We can no longer
Son of a bitch.
scan for enemies, but
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
we're so powerful that we could just mash lock, get a kill,
Son of a bitch.
get a kill.
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
Like, the lock on is actually perfect. I have my mouse perfectly still. The camera's absolutely fucked, probably because I turned the camera around at the very beginning. And it didn't like that. There you go, it fixed itself. At this point, he'd be only carrying it for sentimental value. There's no reason whatsoever to even hold on to such things, because this gun in his hand right here kills literally everything in one hit. Every single type of smile.
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
Okay. Keep walking. Good to go. Finally, after a full game, going down the middle. Opening the path. I was like, I opened this up because I felt like there was a special detail we could see here, but obviously I'm wrong. What's at the bottom? What is truly down here?
You boys are almost done. You don't need to go around killing everybody anymore. The last of the Heaven Smiles is in the back. The big boss. If you do him, then it means you've eradicated all of them. No more terrorism. Hail to the free world. But I wonder, what'll become of you guys if terrorism is the law of nature? You know, you should kill me now, 'cause you don't want us hanging around, know what I mean? If I'm alive, I'll give you a run for your money. Even an assassin like yourself. Better be prepared, 'cause blood must atone for blood. So, which will you choose? Your own country, or watch our retribution? Your fucking decision.
So, you're allowed to decide either here. Also, these images are placed randomly each time you select them. It's also pretty loud, so I'm gonna not mash it, but
Dozo.
we don't have a reason for that anymore. Now, what is going on here? That old man. Empty chair. And an unusable TV with blank channels. Weird how this game creates nostalgia for something that you are still actively using. And probably, like, I've only been playing this game over a week. And just seeing it empty is sad nostalgia. The whole time it was down here. Finally going down to the basement. Now, know what you're thinking. You can't. And besides, you're better off just chasing him to the end. Yeah. Yoizaru was Kunlan. Pretty much the whole time. And also, the last Heaven Smile. That's it. Now that's really the end of Killer7. big credits with some rockin' music now. Story by Shinji Mikami and Suda51. They worked side by side to make sure that it was trimmed in the way that they wanted. What a game. Start to finish, this shit's a fucking ride. It definitely doesn't all make sense the first time you go through it. I've definitely sat through an entire section of YouTube dedicated to just deciphering what's going on in this game specifically. I still don't feel like I've completely got it, like I'm missing something. But Suda's come forward and said part of that's on purpose. Doesn't want it to be completely obvious and wants people to find what they see in it. There's a funny reason for that. Some of it's because one of the key elements of this game's plot is the phrase terrorism for the sake of terror. For both America and Japan, that means different things, especially in relation to cults. There's a cult on both sides that spark a different specific thing for both sides. So to keep it open for interpretation is part of the charm and part of the purpose. Wait, we in fact do have one more thing. I'm a liar. You gotta go out with a bang. Of course, it's not gonna do that.
You're awake from your nightmare.
Harmon, the world won't change. All it does is turn. Now, let's dance.
Now it's the end. For realsies this time. No more joking around. What is it, the end? Yes. But is it really the end? Are we sure? Yes, we are. Thank you for playing Killer7. Capcom logo, despite them not being officially partnered anymore. But it was them able to say thank you for supporting XYZ. And actually, I already have a save for Post Lion. I did it already because I needed to make sure everything would work well. And now that we finished the game, we get... Wait for it. Killer 8! Which is a new version of the game. I wish I was kidding. A new personality will awaken. And the music is absolutely bumping. Let's give it a quick check. Skip through all the menagerie. This is a part of the era of the game, of Capcom games, where they want 100 post-game unlockables. I almost said unblockables, like it's a fighting game. Yo, the man in the wheelchair gonna hit you with an unblockable. Finally, get these cutscenes. Have our 7th persona. Even though we're the Killer 8, it means we have 7 field agents. And another persona that's all within his head. A Tommy gun. There's some very specific things that goes on in this difficulty mode. Something I'm going to show off immediately, to be clear, is that you can look all you want. There is no weak spot visible. You want to hit the weak spot? Yes. Guess where it is? And hit it. I'm not kidding. That's actually where it is. Or what it's about now. Pretty much the entire cast can not survive more than one hit. I guess your mouth. Nope. That's fine. And yeah, this is kind of fun. This is a proper rebalance of the entire game. No new content. Sorry, there's no new ending for killing or finishing the game on Killer 8. In fact, if you had been paying attention to how the game ends, there are 7 characters or 7 undefeatable enemies. So you cannot pick up the golden gun with young Harmon. You'll still reach the same endpoint. And the future will refuse to change. Fun little enjoyment thing for beating the game. Like, you don't have to take this too seriously. I cannot for the life of me say I've ever finished this game on this difficulty, even when I had infinite time as a little kid. Bullshit. Whew. Imagine though. Yeah, and because you can't see weak points, you'll never be able to see them. Kinda have to sit here and just be like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. You don't know what you're doing. You just, I don't know, it just looks good. Like, this is a game to own. In my mind. I'm 90% certain if I went and looked for it, I would still have my PS2 copy of Killer7. In fact, I still do. I still have my original copy of Killer7. Step into the mind of the assassin, etc., etc. This game is phenomenal. So good, I literally bought it twice. I got the manual, the disc. It has definitely seen better times. But I feel like I've made my point. I have a very high opinion about this game. And I hope I kind of conveyed a little bit of that aspect of myself here. That I have a high opinion of this game. And I hope it rubs off a little bit. Yeah, what a journey. I'd like to thank you all for watching. And I'll see you all for the next thing we do. Peace.